What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are here to do something we've never done before.
We haven't really done anything like this.
We're taking a top 10 and we're remixing it.
I guess the closest thing we did to something like this, I was going to say it was when we did our top 100, and we kind of compared it to our last one. But that wasn't a remix.
No.
That was just kind of us reflecting on a top 10 or top 100 that we've done, which we don't really do very often. We're doing that right now.
Yeah, we're doing that right now. So the reason this is even possible is a follower suggested it as an idea, which is a really cool idea. And so in our last top 10, what we did was we did top 10 1 in 100 games.
Yes.
So we took sections of Board Game Geek.
It's a weird list, yeah.
It's a weird list. And so out of every 100 games on Board Game Geek, starting with 1,000 moving up to number 1, we can only choose one game out of every 100.
So 1,000 to 901.
What's your favorite game in that group?
Exactly. And then boom, and then boom, and boom. Which we were like, I don't know if this list will work. And people actually really liked it. There's a ton of comments of people doing the exact same thing. So if you haven't done that, go over to that video and put in your top 10, because it ended up being a very interesting list.
Yeah, and so basically our list got ordered by the groupings they were in Board Game Geek.
Yes, which is not necessarily our ranking.
Not necessarily. So someone said, I would love to see the 10 games you got. What's the actual ranking
the true positions
of like your favorite games out of this list? Yes. Because if it's in the 900 section, it can't be number 1 because that's for 0 to 100. Yeah. So we have taken the list that we made in there and actually ordered them in order of how much we love the games themselves.
Yes.
So that may or may not change what the list was in the last video.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's the same, yeah.
So we're doing that, and what we've done is we are going to show you really quickly down here or over here, whatever I do in Premiere to make that happen, what our lists were, okay?
Yeah.
In order, now again, it's going from 1,000 to 900 and so on.
There are
great games.
Most of those hundreds, it was tough to choose one game. Like, it really was. It was... we could have done the whole thing again and chosen completely different games.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games in the top 1,000 games of all time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. So based off of those lists
on that
video,
top 10, yeah.
Now Nick and I have reordered potentially. Maybe the order was perfect. I don't know.
First time.
And we're going to go from 10 to 1 quickly. Which ones are actually our favorite and touch briefly on why we like them. But if you want to see our full thoughts on each of the games, watch that top 10. Yeah. We'll go in much more detail. But we wanted to make a fun little game.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was say, you take a look at your list, you reorder it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a look at your list, and I'm going to order it how I think you have ordered it.
And I've done the same thing for him. So we each have our predictions of what the other one's list. I feel good about mine.
I don't feel good about
my prediction for your list, but I also might be horrendously wrong. But I feel very good about it.
We both know our number ones will be accurate. Outside of that, I don't know.
Yes,
so basically, it's just for fun to see who knows the other brother best in terms of their taste. So you can make a guess too. Again, if you look at all the games we got on the last list, try to predict what we're going to do here and let us know how you do in the comments below.
Yes, indeed.
You ready to begin?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with our number 10s. What is your number 10
on that list?
What's your favorite? Yeah, out of your newly remixed list, what's number 10 for you?
My number 10
right, check mark. Let's go. All right.
Is Cribbage.
Yeah! Nailed.
I love Cribbage. Cribbage was on that last list.
That was a pretty easy one to
guess it was. I didn't have it picked up. I think it was number 7. It was in the 700s. But I love Cribbage. It's kind of my favorite go-to classic card game.
Yep.
But I will almost always choose a board game over it for the most part. Not always, but usually. So like it's number 10. I love Cribbage. It's a classic card game, great game.
Yeah.
But it's my number 10 because I was like, I would choose any of these board games over Cribbage.
Sure, and that's what the whole remix is about.
Sometimes Cribbage just hits that spot.
Oh, absolutely. Oof. We've played and continually to just one time like,
check out Cribbage chats where we play Cribbage while we're chatting.
For you, while we chat. It's a great chatting game.
Yeah,
for me, my number 10 is Nations the Dice Game. Is that what your guess was?
No. Wow, 10, really?
Yeah.
So you've been really...
It's the new kid on the block.
You've been really liking this one. I figured it'd be... I had it much higher for you.
Oh, where'd you have it listed?
I had it as number 7.
Number 7? Okay. For me, it's number 10, simply because it's the new kid on the block.
I had Ex Libris for you at 10.
Okay. Close.
I figured.
Actually, you know what? You flipped him. Ex Libris is my 7. You flipped him.
Oh, 7. Wow.
Yeah. Who knows? Like I said, I told Nick, I was surprised by my own list. Nations the Dice Game is a really quick version of Nations, which is a Civ game.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going through eras moving forward. And Nations the Dice Game just takes all that and puts it into a quick little dice roller, like a filler game almost, like 20, 30 minutes. And it's really fun. So I've been enjoying playing on Tabletopia, and we actually now have Nations the Dice Game with the very important expansion, which gives a little bit of variable player powers. Not player powers, but variable starts, sort of. You start with different stuff. So I'm super excited to try it, and maybe that expansion will pop up the list.
Yeah,
but it's just new.
You've been super hot on it, so I figured it might be higher.
I have been, but I was trying to give a little more love to the established ones. So that's our number 10s.
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. What did you think I had for number 9?
Number 9, I have Prodigal's Club.
Nah, it's the Bloody Inn. The Bloody Inn is great. The Bloody Inn is wonderful, wonderful, weird, macabre game. The reason why it's not higher, it might be higher, is because you really want 3 people to play it with, and we just don't play it very often.
It's one of those games
that it's a
like
small
once a year game.
Yeah, so probably won't leave our collection anytime soon, but like I usually want 3 people, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't come out very often, and so that's why it's number 9. It honestly, a lot of the games on my list, it might kind of excuse me, like, well, honestly, if it got played more, it might be higher.
Sure,
and that's kind of a lot of my list. Honestly, is that way. And so the Bloody Inn was my number 9. Not
fair enough. Fair enough. My number 9 is probably gonna mess you up. Mine is Hanamakoji.
Wow.
Because
nope.
What'd you have for?
I had Quadropolis.
Quadropolis 9.
Wow.
I couldn't. I got twisted up. I couldn't make up my mind and stuff. But it's one of those things that I love. Hanamakoji. It's a great 2-player game. It's fantastic. Yes. But I'd probably rather play like with 3 players in general. I'm talking about just if you're doing a game night. I'd probably rather play that, or still probably rather play a bigger game at 2 players. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason. And we've played it a ton. So it's not fallen off for me, but it's one of those I'm like, I've really played that game a lot.
Yeah.
And other games are kind of a little more interesting to me right now because I haven't played those games as many times.
I almost put it this low on your list because of that reason. I was like, we haven't played it that much recently at all. And you, particularly, I was like, I feel like Micah's not necessarily completely outplayed the game, but I was like, I feel like you have kind of outplayed it a teeny bit. So I almost put it higher, and then I was like, nobody loves this game, so I
know it's tricky. That's my number 9 though. Is Hanamakoji. Great 2-player game.
All right, my number 8, I put Rococo.
Rococo? Nope. I had that as number 4.
Wow. Now, I love Rococo. Again, Rococo is kind of one thing. If we played it more, I'd probably maybe have it a little bit higher. Rococo is it's great. It's really, really wonderful. We just don't play that much, and I love it to death.
Yeah.
But Rococo was my number 8. I do love Rococo, and I'm excited for the deluxe version.
Lower.
Yeah, even though we didn't get the deluxe version, but
I thought about putting lower for you, but I was like, no, he loves Rococo.
I do love Rococo.
Which is true. Again, none of these doesn't mean you hate any of them.
No, that's all these games we love. Yeah, so that was my number 8.
What do you have for my number 8?
I had World's Fair.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. World's Fair, 1893. I
was like, World's Fair is going to be high up.
Fantastic little area control type game.
Yeah.
That's just wonderful. You're putting cubes out on different areas of the World's Fair. And trying to get these cards for some set collections. Really good. Really love it. It's number 8 simply because like other games will get played first.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love it. I love that we own it. And especially if you got like 3 or 4 players and stuff, like have some World's Fair. It's quick and it's not mean feeling.
No.
It's just kind of manipulating these little cubes. So it's great.
Yeah.
What you got for 7?
For number 7, I put Downforce. And Downforce originally was was higher actually, because it's like, here's the thing, like if we have the player count, which I almost always want I want 6 people for Downforce.
It's so fun at 6.
And I'm like, man, if we had the player count, we had 6 people, Downforce might be my like number 1 pick of a game to play. Because it's probably my favorite 6-player game. And so I was like, man, I was trying to think of it in that way. I was like, where would this end up? And I was like, in terms of like, because when you're thinking about your favorite games, I try to think of them as like, okay, if I had like the ideal player count, if I had it, where does this actually rank? And Downforce for me, actually at 6, ideal player count is pretty high up on my list, ultimately.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we almost never have that. So I feel like it gets kind of lowered for that reason. But it's like, it's kind of a weird way of like, how do you look at a top 100 list or a top 10 list? Is it like you playing the game in the ideal circumstances, or how you normally get to play it?
What's reality versus idealistic?
Because that could be totally different lists then, It's like, and so Downforce ended up being 7 because I was like, we usually don't get a chance to play it because I want to play it at 6.
We should do top 10 in a perfect world games, where it's like, if you have the ideal situation, this game sings, but it really has to be in that specific situation.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see that. That's an interesting.
There's a number of games I think that fit us that for us.
In a perfect world. Because like something like, I'll tell you right now, Captain Sonar's on that list.
Yeah.
In a
Gotta
perfect
be at 8
world.
at a con with the right 8 people.
With the right 8 people,
Yes.
with the right vibe.
Yeah.
But it is so needs to be in a perfect world for me for that game. That's an interesting list.
Interesting.
Yeah, so my number 7 was Downforce.
Nice. My number 7, you guessed as another thing was Ex Libris. Yeah. It's fantastic.
I was surprised this is high for
I think maybe the solo has kind of bumped it back up a little bit.
Solo.
I really like the puzzly nature of it. You're trying to get these cards out to organize your library. These spaces are interesting. The art's interesting. I just love the world of it. And with the solo, I think it bumped it up. I think without having discovered that, it would have been lower, maybe where you guessed it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe where you guessed it.
Honestly, without the solo, I don't think it'd be in our collection anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. It's nothing
but I
against
love the
game,
solo
but
that much. I really do. Yeah.
It's really good. What you got for 6?
Number 6, I have Shakespeare.
I was one off. I had it 5.
Yeah.
I wasn't confident in that pick.
What did you have 6?
Networks. Did you have it the other way around?
Yep.
Yep. I was going back and forth on that, man. I was like, which one is higher? I don't know.
I love Shakespeare.
I thought Shakespeare was going to have like some sort of, it's been around for a long time.
And honestly, and it's definitely still high on my list, but it's definitely dropped in my list. I still love it. It's still going to be one of my biggest evangelism games. We're constantly trying to get people to play this game, and I'll still always love it. But yeah, it definitely has dropped down. We don't play it as much as we used to. Yeah. Yeah, it's just dropped down. I'm not again still absolutely adore it, but it's just dropped down. Its only
problem is that it's a fairly static game.
Yeah.
Even with the backstage pass, which we've talked backstage pass, Justin Bieber, backstage expansion. The game is always the same.
Yeah.
It's the same cards, same objectives, same
relatively
everything.
static,
You might be able to get a Queen's objective card, which might push you in a direction, but it's the same game. Not a bad thing, but it's I think it's
it honestly could use another expansion. Where I would love to see an expansion where you're like your play is now like a comedy or a tragedy, and the actors and actresses have to make sense for that. Like just something like that. Or
you get bonuses, for
something where you're specifically going for different stuff. Where you're specifically doing the game is not popular enough to get this, so don't get your hopes up. But it's like
that'd be nice.
One of those things where it's like I would like a bigger expansion that like variable player power, just stuff that's gonna change the staticness of the game. Because I think you're right. I think I always love it, but I think it's going down a little bit at a time because of the fact that it's relatively static. You don't do much different each time. Yeah. And this doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just one of those things that after many years, maybe it'll slowly slip. And that's not a mark against Not a bad thing.
What are we on? 6. I'm on 6. I got Quadropolis for 6.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we flip some things around. It's a great city building game. I think it's just really fun with the way that the tiles and adjacency works, and especially the advanced version of playing is just like extra cool and interesting. It's just kind of beauty in its simplicity. It's not terribly complex, but it gives you lots of fun stuff to think about.
Yeah,
you know
lots
while being easy to understand how the game works.
That's the thing is the rule set and what you're doing in the scoring is relatively simple, but there's a ton of choice in the game. I mean, a ton of you have to constantly are making meaningful choices, which is what you want in a game.
Super fun. What'd you got for 5?
5 was the networks. Yeah, which you guessed. The networks,
So close.
Again, I mean, we're always like, we don't get to play as much as we want to, but that's literally every game nowadays. We have enough games and we're busy enough with our job, which is this, that and it's also with COVID-19, we're not getting to game days as often, which is where a lot of these games, especially like these kind of big Euro games or games that would rather play more than 2 players, it's like they're just not getting played because we don't have anyone to play with. We play with Karen, but she works too and we work, so it's like
limited time.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things. But the networks is one of those games where it's just like I love it so much. Like it really has such staying power with me, especially now. It's like with the executives expansion and the little Teletime expansion. There's so much different stuff going on.
Swap out the mode you play sort of every time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so networks is still great. I love it.
It's fantastic. My number 5 is Unmatched.
Oh wow. Okay, I had my match higher for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Mine. I thought I had Hanmakoji for number 5.
Okay, copy that. Yeah, I was.
Well, you were going to win this fight. I
think
got
Unmatched.
Right.
I was going back and forth.
I think I have your 2 and 1 right. I'm pretty sure I have your 2.
I think I have maybe your 3, 2, 1, but I think maybe there's an upset in there. But I don't want to look at your list. Unmatched is a great skirmish game by Restoration Games. You're just battling different people throughout history and myth and legend and stuff like that. I really enjoy it. I just love every time a new pack comes out. I just like get to go through and trip out on the art and like love that so much. And then it's just fun to play weird combinations. We talked a lot about Unmatched. It's been a very popular game in the last year. It's really been about a year and change.
Last Gen Con is when it really
came out,
right?
Yeah. So it's done very well, and I'm just excited for like the future of it. This is one that went 5, but like could be a 4. Probably will be higher as it goes because there will be some just new packs and new possibilities. So yeah, Unmatched is super fun. What you got for number 4?
Number 4, I have Crown of Amara, which you had higher for me. I know you had that one higher for me. Yeah, I love Crown of Amara. I do. I love it. Here's the thing. How many times have we played Crown of Amara in our lives? A couple times. Yeah, I love Crown of Amara. I think as I play it more, I do think this is potential top 10 game, maybe top 5 game for me. But realistically, we've played it 3 times, 4 times. Yeah. I love it. Love it. So excited to explore more. Yeah. I want to start playing it solo just to start playing it more. Yeah. But as of right now, we've only played it a couple times. And so like it's not quite as high on the list. I figured I
had it 3 and I was worried it was 2.
Oh, really? See, I figured you put it as my number 2.
Because you said like, I think this is going to become a top 10 game and stuff. And like, I think it could be, but you're right. We haven't had it that long. I forget. Yeah.
No, but that's the thing is like, I'm also trying to be like, okay, where am I actually at now?
Yeah.
Versus where I think it might go. You know, it's like that. Those are 2 different things. And so, it's I love Crown of Amara. It's incredible. If you like just tight Euro games, it's so good.
Yeah. What would you guess for my number 4?
I had Seasons.
Yep. Ding ding ding. Yep. Seasons my number 4.
I almost put this one way lower on the list.
You might go all 3.
No, I'm not. I'll go 2 and 1. I'm pretty sure.
Well, but then you can't. There's only maybe you can.
No, I know.
We'll see. I don't want to read. Seasons is a great game where you are drafting out these cards and ultimately building a tableau of cards in front of you that have magical items and familiars, and it's all for points. Yeah. Things will give you abilities, and they might take away crystals, which are points from your opponent, and a million different things. There's all sorts of different cards that manipulate the game. And that's what's really cool about the game is that you draft out these cards, which will kind of give you your flow for the game. Like, okay, well, based on these cards, I can do this, this, and this, and manipulate this stuff this way. And you're trying to get these energy tokens to ultimately play more cards and stuff like that. It's just a really fun game that every time we play it, I'm always just like, man, I really like this game.
Now, granted, if we had not played it with the expansion recently, do you think it'd been this high?
I think it would have been. Okay. I think there's a good chance it would have been. The fact that we played the expansion really helped.
We just finally played with the expansion.
Yeah, because I always had those feelings before even playing with the expansion. And the expansion just adds like little bits, which are fun. Yeah. But I'm like, I still felt mostly just like Seasons when we were playing. So yeah, I think it would have been my number 4 or very close anyway. So what you got for number 3? I had Crown of Amara here, which I now know is wrong.
Yeah, so you got 2 and 1 right then. Because this is the Prodigal's Club. Prodigal's Club, again, we don't get to the table quite as often, but man, I love the Prodigal's Club. This is one of those games where I feel like I like it way more than everyone else kind of thing. And like,
it's really good. We need to play it.
I love it so much.
I get intimidated by it, but then every time I play it, I'm just like, I remember I'm like, it's just a lot of setup, really.
Yeah, it's stressful. The game is stressful for sure. Oh, yeah. But like, it is so good, the Prodigal's Club, which is a game where you're just trying to lose all your money, lose all your friends, lose an election. And it's just so weird and kooky, but it's got like a heavy Euro game in there. Yeah. And it's so incredible. This is also one of those things, I can pretty sure say it's not my top 10. I think if this is a game I was able to get to the table more, this could also be my top 10. I think it would be my top 10. I like it that much. But it's just like, we honestly don't get to the table. Yeah. It's kind of a hard teach, to be completely honest. I taught it on the cruise, and we played it fine. It was fine, but I was like, man, there's just a lot to go over. Yeah. You're essentially teaching 3 different games. Did you play
all 3 sections?
Yeah, always.
That's a problem. You can, if you're teaching it, you can play just 2 of the 3.
You're kind of playing 3 separate games, and it's like, so it's a bit of a tough teach, so it doesn't get brought out very often, but it's incredible.
It's so good. Yeah. I had that as number 9, which now I'm looking back, I'm like, why did I ever think that was number 9? I mean, the one thing I kind of was thinking was it doesn't get played very often. Yeah. But like, that's not what the
And that's why, like
I
said, sometimes like, you just got to go with your heart. That's what my heart says. So now, number 3 for you. Yeah. What you got? Number 3, I had Unmatched for you. I figured Unmatched that high. Right. I'm guessing it's Baseball Highlights.
It is not. It is Empires of the North.
You're lying to yourself.
You knew it. You knew it was 3, 2, or 1.
Lies to himself.
What, you thought it was higher? You think I'm ranking it too low?
What, Empires of the North?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. For you? Yes. Yes. For Mike? Yes.
I ranked it number 3 for the moment.
Lies.
It might not stay that way. It might not stay that way. But
I think Baseball Highlights
man.
totally is fair to be this high. You are lying to yourself. If you think you rank Baseball Highlights higher than Empires of the North, I would not guess that.
I did today.
You did today.
Empires of the North is my number 3.
True. Maybe that's true. Empires of the North. I would have put money that Empires of the North was your
Empires of the North is really fun. It kind of has that Unmatched thing where I get so excited knowing there's more sets coming, and I just want to look at them all and how does this one work and play it. And it's a weird thing with those games, and I wonder about this. I guess is like, is there going to be a consumerist nature with these games where I'm like, I just want the new thing just to look at it and play it, and then maybe I forget about it. I hope that doesn't happen. I really have been enjoying.
I think that depends on how easy the game is to get to the table. If it's like, say, Eclipse, something that's a big 3-4 hour game, new factions that come out all the time, we won't play it. Unmatched is easy, 20-30 minutes. Empires of the North, 45 minutes an hour.
That's true.
I think in that case, 100% of that depends on how long the game is.
Yeah, and like whether or not it's okay to get. And the packs aren't very expensive anyway. Yeah. But Empires of the North is a great game where you get these little factions and you have a deck of cards, and based off of that, you kind of have like a little engine you're going to build for your faction. And
so good.
They might be really good at this thing versus that thing. And like Unmatched and Imperial Settlers before it, which this is Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North, there's going to be more and more factions. And then it's sort of about like, how do you get your engine working quicker than they get their engine working? And it's just really fun and interesting. It's got cute art. I really love the style.
I love the art.
It probably will surpass like a Baseball Highlights. If this list was made next year, I have no doubt that it would
tomorrow.
be the
That's
other way
what with
around.
these lists, it's like, honestly,
It's
you're
a
going
snapshot
off of,
in a moment.
Yeah, you're going off of what you feel that moment of that day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, my list could be 100% different.
Yeah, it's just what we're feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 3 is Empires of the North. What you got for 2?
My number 2 is Dungeon Pets.
Yeah,
Which I figured you'd get my number 2 and 1. Dungeon Pets, again, game we don't play as often as I'd like to, but in terms of silly theme and heavy game, it's like my favorite combination is light theme but heavy Euro game. That is my bread and butter.
Yep.
You know,
really do like that. I mean, Prodigal's Club.
Prodigal's Club, something like Chimera Station, which isn't the heaviest game, but kind of like a weird, silly theme.
Yeah.
And then like a decently large Euro game underneath it. That's like if you want to make a game for me, put a cute, silly theme on top of a heavy Euro game, and I will most likely adore it. And that's what Dungeon Pets is. And I love Dungeon Pets. It was one of the first games we ever got. I still love it as much as I always have. It's incredible.
It's really fantastic.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Baseball Highlights 2045.
Yes.
More Empires of the North. If you guys
Baseball Highlights is great.
It's
the only reason Baseball Highlights is on my list because you chose it for yours.
Yeah, so that's why we have
it would have replaced
lists.
whatever game was on mine, almost guaranteed.
But Baseball Highlights is a great deck builder. We love baseball, and you get to play baseball with cards, and it's a 1v1, and you can play like kind of tournament because you're doing like best of 7 series and stuff. It's just fantastic. It's a great theme blended with great gameplay, and I love it. And maybe it will be replaced by Empires of the North, but not today.
Not today.
That's my number 2. Nick, what's your number 1?
Viticulture. Everyone knows it. What's your number 1?
Mine's Feast for Odin.
Everyone knows
Everyone knew the number 1s. That was your 1 star that you would get for sure if you've ever watched any video we've ever made. They're our favorite games, respectively, of all time.
And they both happen to be the BGG top 100, so they stayed in their spots.
We're Cult of the New. We're only about the
Actually, my 2 and 1 are the same on both lists.
Wait, what?
Because Dungeon Pets was in the 100 to 200 range on BGG.
Oh, yeah.
So my 2 and 1 was actually the same as my other list.
Okay, yeah. I can't remember what mine was.
I don't think yours was for sure, yeah.
But anyway, that's our kind of remixed
How'd you do?
lists.
How many did you do?
I got 4 of yours.
Yeah, I got 3.
I got Cribbage, Downforce, Dungeon Pets, Viticulture.
Yeah, I got World's Fair, Seasons, and Feast for Odin,
Yeah, but you had a couple where you were one off.
Yeah, I was sure your number 2 one was Empires of the North and Feast for Odin.
It almost was, man. I'm telling you, it almost was.
But at the same time, I originally had Nations Dice Game as your number 8 and World's Fair as your number 7, and I switched those.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me the one for
yourself.
World's Fair. So yeah, hey, here's the thing.
So we basically knew each other's
we're
about the same amount. How'd you do if you tried to guess what our list would be based off of what you knew was available? Let us know how you did in the comments below.
And if you put your list in the last video, put your new remixed list in the comments of this video.
I love that. Put your remixed lists, if you participate in the other video, in the comments.
Put your old list in this one too. Just put it in like 2 little things so we can see it.
The numbers and then the love.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. That's it for us, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this kind of weird, strange video. We hope you enjoyed it.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye. And that's another list based off of another list. It's like we're Hollywood now. We're just rebooting our own stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's just the same movie and over and over and over
Anyway,
again.
if you want to see the top 10 list that we made originally, like we said, you can go check it out over there. And then down here, Nick, what's going to be down there?
A sketch.
A sketch. It's going to be
keep
such
pushing
a
the
fun
sketch. I think it's really funny.
Watch us dump just a butt ton of components on a table,
really
but not in a fun way. It'll make you hurt.
Yeah.
Watch it now.
Indeed. Make sure to like this video, share it, subscribe. You know what to do. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.